Okay, now we saw that flake, and now you have to go under the hood. So I have controls. You have controls. I have controls. Okay, you can put the hood on now.
In this video, I go under the hood for the first time. IFR training. We'll take a look at some rate 1 turns and practice some climbing and turning. We'll also do some collision avoidance and radio procedures for both Portland International and my home base of Troutdale. Make sure to check the description for a listing of content and where they appear in the timeline. And at the end, I'll explain a little bit about how this video came together.
Okay.
Helicopter 4074 Tango, contact approach 124.35.
Contact approach on 124.35. 407 Tango.
I'm really lucky to train so close to the Charlie airspace. PDX is a really busy airport. Because of the practice area that we're going to, which is right around the Battleground VOR, we decided to get some flight following to help us with collision avoidance.
Helicopter 4074 Tango with VFR 1500.
Helicopter 4074 Tango, Portland approach, altimeter 3005, traffic 12 to 11 o'clock, appears off Camus Grove out of 1,000 feet, climbing slowly, VFR.
We're looking for the traffic, Helicopter 4074 Tango. Okay, you have controls? Yeah, we're
over 288, contact.
I really like the way that Phil hails Portland approach. He lets them know who we are by way of our tail number, and then lets them know that we're flying VFR or visual flight rules and what altitude we're at, in this case 1,500. Really short and simple, and all the information that Portland's looking for. The hood I'm putting over my head is a vision limitation device. It's designed to simulate being in foggy conditions or conditions you can't otherwise see the ground in when you're flying.
Helicopter 4074 Tango, we're still negative on this traffic.
Helicopter 74 Tango, traffic's 12 o'clock, appears northwestbound, altitude indicates 1,600, approximately 1.5 miles from your position.
Looking for traffic 4074 Tango, thank you. Okay, let's just descend to 1,500 and fly the approach, yes, 125. Descending to 1,500. Yes, seat 7 on the crater to the tackle.
Jazz 125, Portland approach, expect visual approach, runway 28 right.
It's pretty much straight in front of us, flying the same direction at the same altitude, so that's why I want to have some separation with that. Alright. Okay, watch your speed, 70 knots.
70 knots, alright.
Oh, let's, whatever you feel comfortable with. What do you, just want you to be able to hold one speed, so. Alright. If you want to feel 80, we can fly 80.
Yeah, 70 to 80, I'm comfortable.
Say 70 then for now.
70
a little bit more right cyclic to get back on your heading. So, just gonna put the heading back on the way you want to fly, okay?
Alright.
So let's fly heading 300 for now.
300.
And a little bit left pedal to get us into trim.
And center from you, we're just going to be a wee bit high for the crater restriction. No, that's okay. Jazz 125, no problem. Altitude restrictions are deleted. Jazz 125, thanks.
Okay. Try to get your heading. So your aim with the heading is to stay within the buck. Okay?
Alright.
Okay, fly right heading 330.
Right heading 330.
I train with Hillsborough Aero Academy. My flight instructor Phil is awesome. I'm really thankful he let me video this flight.
Helicopter 74 Tango, traffic no fact, continuing northwestbound, has about a 50 knot, about 50 knots faster, yeah.
Thank you very much, 74 Tango. And now I want you to climb to 1,700 and at the same time turn left heading 270.
Climbing to 1,700 and turning to 270.
Oh, okay.
Climbing and turning. Had a fair amount of difficulty with this. Being the first time under the hood, I'm paying attention to a lot of instruments that I'm not used to seeing. The whole 6-pack with the attitude indicator and my HSI, as well as my slip skid indicator and my turn coordinator. These are instruments that I'm not really used to seeing in the cockpit.
Overshot my 270. Yep. Turning back.
Okay, fly right heading, let's say 310 and descend to 1,500.
310 and descending to 1,500.
It's really important in training like this to keep the inputs real smooth and small. By flying slower at 70 knots as opposed to 80 or 90 knots, which the R-22 is really capable of, the slower speed allows me to stay in control easier.
Approach has 538 at 14.5 on the hood with echo. What's your speed? 538, point on approach, expect visual approach, runway 28 left. Visual tail left, drive 538.
Are you doing that on purpose after each other, or?
Say again?
Are you? I'm not sure if maybe it's a misunderstanding, so try to, when I give you this turn and climb heading, so descending, try to do both at the same time.
I am.
Okay, I just want to make sure, yeah.
One's leading the other one a little bit.
Contact for approach 126.
You have to work with your speed, with your collective, and with your cyclic all at the same time. So that's kind of the challenge of this. Okay, and now turn right heading 330 and climb back to 1,700.
330 and climbing back to 1,700.
And raise collective a little bit and a little bit off cyclic to get your climb in. Alright, so you're already at the heading. So let's just continue the turn here to 030.
030 and climbing
1,700 down.
1,700.
Helicopter 74 Tango traffic. 10 o'clock, 2 miles from New Rain, altitude indicates 1,200.
Looking for traffic for 74 Tango.
Phil's doing a great job keeping an eye out for both of us. Normally in an aircraft this small, it's important for anybody inside the aircraft looking both to the left and to the right. With me under the hood, I can't see outside at all. I can just see the top of the instrument cluster. So Phil's pulling double duty, keeping an eye out for both of us.
Okay, turn left heading 330. And descend to...
Right, 538, clear direct to ANN to maintain 7,000, join the runway 28 left, final approach course.
Turning to 330, descend to 1,000.
No, just stay on.
The approach course.
Traffic I'm not sure where they are, so just
Okay.
gonna stay up here.
They're staying at 1,800 and turning to 330.
Oh, okay.
Right, sir, 538, contact Portland approach 126.9, good day. 126.9, that's 538, yeah.
Okay, so have you learned what a rate 1 turn is yet?
Yes, I don't know if I could say it, but it's 30, can't remember if it's 15 or 30 degree turn.
No, so it's
Standard rate
rate
turn?
1 turn is that you fly 360 degrees in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and a good indication for that is this airplane, so if it's on this, it's rate 1 turn. And then what you can also use is, so every 90 degrees should be about 30 seconds. So you can start your timer for that, and I want you to try a left 360 degree rate 1 turn.
A left 360 degree,
So,
one rate turn.
Rate 1, yeah.
Rate 1.
Okay, left side clear, you can gently start in the turn.
Alright, starting
Start
turn.
timer, okay, and start the turn.
Helicopter 74 Tango, traffic no factor.
Traffic no factor, 74 Tango, thank you. Okay. You're turning a little bit too steep here, too steep. Plane should be lined here, and that's usually between the first and second line.
Alright.
Okay.
So our power needs to increase because we're turning.
You're climbing. You're climbing to 2,000 already. Change lower collective a little bit.
Trying to keep my airspeed up.
And continue the turn.
We're turning a little bit fast.
Yeah, so you can just chill out a little bit. So we had 1 minute, so 1 minute should have been down here, so
Right.
just chill out a little bit. Okay. But continue to turn.
Helicopter 74 Tango, traffic 11 o'clock, 2 miles southbound. It's a dash 8 at 3,000, descending for Portland.
We got traffic inside 407 Tango.
Helicopter 74 Tango, maintain visual separation from the traffic, caution wake turbulence.
Maintain visual separation, caution wake turbulence, 407 Tango, thank you. Okay, cool.
A Dash 8's a larger aircraft. Wake turbulence could be a factor for us. We could maneuver straight into one of their vortices. That could cause things like low G or other aerodynamic hazards.
Okay, and level out on the heading. Okay, so that's ideal, would have been 2 minutes. So you turned a little bit fast. And like at the beginning you turned you accelerated a lot and you climbed. Actually, sorry, you decelerated a lot and climbed. So now try to really fly 60 or 65 knots, whatever you choose, and then try it again, okay? Alright. So I'm just going to reset your timer here, and whenever you're ready, you can start the timer.
You want me on 330 first?
Yeah, we can do that. Okay.
Alright,
You ready?
Ready.
And 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Okay, a little bit forward. Okay, cool.
Trying to do coordinated things like turning and climbing or descending, which isn't the easiest to do in an R22 to begin with, proves a lot more challenging when I'm relying solely on the instruments to maintain a level flight attitude. So flying faster or slower or climbing or descending while in a turn causes the turn to either extend or collapse. Your rate 1 turn, you want to end up doing it at a pace that gives you 360-degree turn in 2 minutes. By speeding up or slowing down or climbing or descending, that 2 minutes could lengthen or shorten. So the ideal is 2 minutes, but flying an aircraft of this size by instrument is pretty challenging to get exactly 2 minutes.
Okay, let's do a little bit too steep here. Just chill out. Just try to get that onto 1. Okay, cool.
One of the things I kept doing wrong during this flight was chasing my altitude. Prior to this, I was used to adjusting my altitude by way of forward or aft cyclic. So I was flying a little more commercial style where I would leave the collective in one spot and simply push the nose forward and gain a little bit of airspeed in order to descend at a slow rate, or provide a little bit of aft cyclic and slow down a little bit and ascend as a result. This works pretty good for visual flying, but for instrument flying it's a little challenging to use. So what I should have been doing differently is holding my attitude steady to give me a steady speed, in this case 70 knots, and then applying power or taking power away by raising the collective or lowering the collective in order to ascend or descend.
We can try one last one and then we actually have to return. Want to do another one, or just want to do a little bit better than climbing and descending?
Climbing and descending seems harder to me.
Okay, cool, yeah. So then I want you to do the left turn, heading 210 and descend to 1,800.
406 turn right, heading 030.
1,400? 1,800.
659 Portland approach, expect a visual approach, runway 28 left, confirm you do have echo.
Alaska 659, we'll plan 2 left, we have echo. Poland approach, local 407 for Tango, we will return back to Troutdale.
Helicopter 74 Tango, roger, maintain VFR, proceed to Troutdale Airport, advise the Troutdale information Zulu.
We have Troutdale information Zulu and maintain VFR, resume on navigation back to Troutdale 407 for Tango. Okay, stop your turn. And continue turn 150.
Turning 150
and descend 1,600.
1,600 descent.
By letting Portland Approach know that we're going to be leaving the area, they know to keep a little bit closer eye on our track back to Troutdale and help us avoid any of the other traffic in the area.
And November 16 Juliet, I can read the Aurora State weather for you tonight.
And level off, so don't want to pass the altitude.
Go ahead, I got it on here, so go ahead.
1,600, never mind.
16 Juliet, Aurora State weather, wind 2253 Zulu sequence, wind 030,
that's 6
miles.
Yeah, sorry.
Clouds are few, 8,100, ceiling broken, 6,000, broken 7,000, 30,
70 knots.
Phil, I can't hear you on the radio.
70 knots?
70 knots.
Okay. At 600 feet and heading 150, yeah, cool.
150.
We're in some really busy airspace here, so there's a lot of traffic on the radio, and it's really hard to hear Phil sometimes. This was a really challenging flight from a comms perspective for me.
Portland approach round 1300, proceed to Pearson Airport, be the class Charlie cutout, advise with the 1 minute weather for Pearson Airport. Port to Papa.
What I ended up doing on the next flight was turning the intercom system up so that it was a lot louder and let Phil adjust the radio as loud as he was comfortable with it. Then on my light speed, I have a separate set of volume controls, so I ended up turning down the mix that was going to my headset down to about half of what it was on this flight, making Phil nice and loud in my headset. ATC was nice and loud as well. Both were at a comfortable level, and I can definitely hear Phil at the level I needed to.
Copy 74 Tango radar service terminated. Maintain your squawk. Contact Troutdale Tower 120.9. Good day.
Maintain squawk, frequency change approved. Contact Troutdale Tower 120.9. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Mooney 16 Juliet.
Oh, we 155. The Seminoles at 1 to 2 o'clock in 1 mile.
155, roger.
Seminole 6 November Delta, traffic 8 o'clock, 1 mile. Heading 150. RV 150. Also about a Troutdale 1,200 indicated.
Clear traffic, 6 November Delta.
Troutdale Tower, Helicopter 74 Tango. Is a recognized like inbound for landing with information zero. Helicopter 474 Tango, Troutdale Tower, enters the right base for runway 25, reports the north bank of the Columbia River. Entering right base 425 and reporting north bank of the Columbia River, Helicopter 74 Tango. 155, keep your forward speed up. Controls? You have controls? I have controls. Okay, can I take the hood off? Hood off. Yep. Coming over 6 over Delta, the RV is now at 9 o'clock and a half mile, 1,200 indicated. Inside 6 over Delta. Over 6 over Delta, reduce your forward speed slightly. You have to follow him over down. You ready?
Yes.
You have controls?
I have controls.
You have controls.
On 155, I got the gravity.
RV 155, you can slow down. You're down to 1,200 feet now.
To where?
1,200?
1,200.
Yep.
Kind of weird getting used to flying with your eyes again.
Yeah.
What I meant was flying visual flight rules, flying by looking at the ground and looking at the horizon and using that as my judgment as to what the aircraft's doing or what needs to be changed versus looking at a bunch of instruments to tell me what the aircraft is doing and trying to interpret what needs to be adjusted from there. It's a different way of flying for sure, and it's pretty amazing how much easier it is to fly visually than to fly based on what the instrumentation is telling you alone.
Request touch and go, runway 25, 6 Delta. Total 6 over Delta. Follow that traffic then, number 2, runway 25, 6. Continue descending for 1,200 right now. Get that one.
We'll do what?
To 1,200?
1,200.
Yep, 6 for Delta.
So this is the first video I've ever made for helicopter training, so thanks for being so patient with my video editing skills. In future videos, things are going to improve quite a bit. I got my private helicopter pilot's license a couple months ago. During that time, I was learning a lot on YouTube from guys like Jason Schappert with M0A.com and Steve Thorne with Flight Shops. Both these guys were very inspirational to me, as well as very informative. I learned a lot in watching their videos. So I wanted to capture my experience going through flight training. I kind of missed the boat on capturing my lessons for my private license, but as I move on through IFR training, my instrument training, my commercial ratings, as well as my CFI and CFII, as I go through this process, I'm hoping to not only capture the information so that I can learn from it and become sharper faster by reviewing these videos and reviewing the training information, but I hope to share the information with the aviation community as well. One of the things that just really sticks out in my mind is something that Steve Thorne said, and that is that the aviation community is stronger if we humble ourselves and share the information. That just really resonated with me when I first heard it. It is in that vein that I'm putting these videos together, so I hope you really enjoy it. Please subscribe if you'd like to find out when new videos are released, and definitely put comments down below. Again, if there's something that you would like to see, a particular maneuver or a particular view out of the cockpit, or anything at all as it pertains to helicopters or helicopter flight training, I would love to share it with you. Not only would it be giving back to the community, which again I'm a big believer in, but we learn together, and I learn faster when questions are asked of me that I can't answer right away, and vice versa. When I'm able to share knowledge that I've learned, it deeper solidifies it in my mind, making me a better pilot. So let's learn together, and just remember, whatever you decide to do in your life, follow your Zen.